The Philadelphia Eagles just continue to roll. The philosophy has been to stay locked in. They don't look at any opponent as more important than another, they don't take anyone lightly, and you really can't in this league because it will humble you fast. Nick Sirriani and the Eagles have made sure to focus on the job at hand and just stay locked in, like I said, because if you stay locked in, you never have to re-lock in. In this video, I want to talk about what has been some of the keys to the Eagles' run over the last few weeks. We're going to look at some insights from the players and so much more. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers and we are getting so close, and with your support, I believe that we can get there. Alright, so the Eagles are coming off a huge 24-19 win over the Baltimore Ravens, but the thing that unfortunately kind of overshadowed the headlines of this game was Diontae Johnson, who just got suspended for refusing to play in that game. There really aren't many reports as to why or what made him do this, but honestly, who cares? I'm not even going to look into this because it's 2024. Who on earth cares about what Diontae Johnson does? So back on track to the Eagles, at first at the beginning of the season, things really did not look too hot for this team. But over the last month, they've been red hot. Everybody has just kind of found a way of what they're doing, and one thing I've noticed about the Eagles this year is that they are a lot more of a physical team. Sometimes being physical is more about personnel rather than coaching. You can coach guys up to be more physical, but ultimately, the GM just has to go out and get guys who actually play physical. And that's exactly what Howie Roseman did. And I mean, it helps that the core of the team is Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, two guys that are absolute units in the weight room. I've never seen a QB that competes with the position players for who can lift the most, but that is just who Jalen Hurts is, and having your quarterback as the most physical guy on the team really can be eye-opening for everyone else, and I think that is one of the biggest reasons behind how Philly is so physical in every aspect. One of Nick Sirianni's best quotes is that good teams learn from their own mistakes, but great teams learn from others, and the reason why I love that so much is because the Eagles don't just look at their own film, they look at how other teams run their 2-minute drills. They take some of the things they like from each team and implement it into their own system. Obviously, every team does this, but I think they have really taken it to the next level, and that is why they are seeing some of the success they are seeing. Another thing is that the Eagles haven't been afraid to take risks, and taking those risks is what leads to explosive plays. But along with those risks, you still gotta have the right guy under center to make great throws in traffic, and Jalen Hurts really has been that guy. And people have had their doubts over the last few years, they've had their opinions on him, and for good reason. I mean, there definitely were areas that he needed to improve in, but this has been the season where him and the offense has started to click. It hasn't always been the prettiest. I mean, he only has 14 passing touchdowns, but again, because of the tush push, his numbers don't look as true to what he really is, and more importantly, his team is 10-2, and they have a game coming up against the Carolina Panthers that they should win pretty easily. But again, Nick Sirianni really makes sure that everyone comes in prepared, because pros are pros. It really is any given Sunday in this league. As the Eagles settle in for the literal home stretch of the regular season, with 4 of their final 5 games at home, there is more time to be around family. Saquon spent some of it with his family the other day, talking about his quarterback. He has it, the it factor. To win football games, he has that, Barkley told his family. Well then, how do you explain it? I don't know, you just know, you see it. He wasn't sure exactly how to explain it to his family, what Hurts really means to this team. Barkley then referenced the fumbled snap Hurts had on a tush push from the 1-yard line against the Ravens last Sunday. Hurts fumbled it, but never panicked. He calmly scooped it up and went on with the play, scoring a touchdown that gave the Eagles the lead for good on their way to a 24-19 win. But he's also done so much more. Let's take a look at some recent game film. This play right here off the bat shows a little bit of that offensive creativity. Goddard motions right, they fake the pitch to Saquon, and then AJ Brown has a one-on-one matchup. And he is gonna win that over 90% of the time. Very solid throw by Hurts to hit him in stride for the first down gain. And then here, this is a prime example of what I was talking about earlier, of why Jalen Hurts does not statistically have that many passing touchdowns. The defense only sends 4, the O-line has 5 blocking up front, Hurts sees the advantage, and this play was probably drawn up, but either way, it was a great read by him to take it to the 1 to set up the tush push. Then here later in the game with 3 out wide to the left, watch Dallas Goedert. He is kind of like the cleanup guy on this play, but he ends up getting big yards picking up the first down. The 3 receivers clear out the space, and he is able to run a crossing route to create his own space. I always love looking at the all 22 angles, because on TV watching the live games, some of these plays look super easy, but this still was a pretty tight window, and everything had to be perfect. This was one of those games where the Eagles just had to grind things out. I was really impressed with the defense because it's never easy to hold Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And that is just a testament to how good the defensive line is. And coming into the season, the line was the main talk of the team, and for good reason. According to Vic Fangio, the main reason for the defensive success has just been repetition and practice. He also spoke about this team being physical and how you really can't stop the Ravens without being physical. If you don't give Lamar Jackson a few early hits when he's running around like a wild man in the backfield, he's going to get the idea in his head that he can do anything. And sometimes you really can think things into existence. When you get in that zone, sometimes nobody can stop you. So those hits really told him early that the Eagles were not there to mess around and let him walk all over them. And one thing I've noticed, being completely unbiased, outside of Myles Garrett and sometimes TJ Watt, I don't know if there is another player in the league that gets held as much as Jalen Carter, and it never gets called. And really, the entire defensive line has been dealing with this. It is just an NFL issue. I know sometimes we really overestimate how hard it is to be an NFL ref with how fast the game moves, but I mean, at some point, they have to start making the right calls. And I'm talking league-wide, not just for the Eagles. But if opponents were not able to hold, this Eagles D-line would be even more dangerous. Here's a little more of what Vic Fangio had to say in his interview about this defense.
Going back to Jalen, are there still moments when you watch him on tape that he does something that surprises you?
He has very good balance. You know, he can be losing early, get his body in a bad position, but he can recover.
The open field tackle that Cooper DeJean had on Derrick Henry, I mean, obviously he's given up like 40, 50 pounds. I mean, what does it take to make a play like that? And you know, how has he been doing with, I mean, he's been making, it seems like he's been making a lot of those plays this season.
Yeah, it was good technique. Good job of wrapping up. Good job of targeting where to hit him. And it all came together for a really good play.
How do you feel about a three-man rotation?
What's that?
How do you feel about sticking with a three-man rotation at the edge? Is that sustainable, or are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's sustainable. Played a whole year in San Francisco with 3 guys for 16 games. So it's sustainable.
Overall, the Eagles are flying right now, and I think they have their eyes set on one thing: the playoffs. They definitely are still in the race for the 1 seed. It's going to be tough, but as a team, you always want that. But even if they don't get it, I think they should be in a good spot. They're battle tested, they know all about adversity from what they've gone through the last few seasons, and this is the most talented the team has ever been. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.